Hello and welcome to another episode of the Flashback Cartoon Hour. I'm your loving bald host with the most from coast to coast, Nick Retroman Lascola. And returning to the show today is the wonderful Matt K. What up, buddy?
How's it going, Nicky? You good today?
Oh, I'm doing good, dude. I'm doing good. Today we have the privilege of going over the 1989 OVA anime mini movie, I guess you could call it. Well, just the OVA in itself, I guess, is the explanation. But that would be Riding Bean. And this was, Matt, this was your pick, right?
This was my pick. Little mini OVA, something simple, easy to digest, fun. Don't have to really think about it. You can turn your brain off. It's one of those animes. Love this one.
Yeah, and you know what, dude? It was so much less depressing than Blue Submarine #6. Like, coming out of that world was a little rough. I was just like, because I watched it like 4 times, and I was like, dude, this is just like, everything's just so depressing, and it's like no signs of getting better, where like in this one, it was just a fun fucking romp of a ride. You know, you got boobs, you got cars, explosions, guns, fucking more boobs. Like,
got more boobs.
I mean, like,
guys, boobs.
Fucking Bean Bandit is just a fucking cool motherfucker, first of all.
Dude, dude oozes aura, dude, just every day.
Yeah. Definitely. Talk about fucking when his eyes go all like white when he like fucking loses his shit in the parking garage like later, dude. That I was like, oh, you know, like,
whoa, calm down, Bean.
I'm like, chill.
When did this turn into a shonen manga? Calm down.
I'm about to fuck you up, dude. But all right, let's get into it. So, Riding Bean, a 45-minute original video animation, aka OVA, released on February 25th, 1989. Although the OVA wouldn't get an English dub until 1995, which is what I watched, was the English dub. I almost watched the sub, but then I watched the dub again. And then again.
And then again. And then again. And you said, and I just can't go back.
Because there are some points where the dubbing is like randomly sped, like microscopically sped up really quick. And like you just catch it. Maybe it's just because I edit this show so much, but like I was like listening to it, and then like Rally would be talking, and then would just like fucking super speed talk, and you're like, whoa.
Or you'd get those, or you'd get those instances where it's those monotone one-liner, one word.
Yes.
It was so good, just so funny, just really classic.
The main villain. There's one scene where she's in like a 18-wheeler or whatever, and like she says a couple of lines, and they're so stiff. It's so like,
He's one hell of a driver with a knack for wrecking police cars.
It's so 1990s and 1980s.
Yeah.
Really
80s.
is.
Oh yeah.
Really, you can feel it.
You can tell they're still like not quite like with Speed Racer. They did that whole like speed up the word so that it could match the lips better too, and that like it wasn't too bad. Don't get me wrong. It was not too bad in this movie, but it was all right. The series was created by Kenichi Sonata, who has also created such series as Bubblegum Crisis, Gal Force, and Gunsmith Cats, which we'll talk about that more in a bit.
So it was also directed by Yasuo Hasegawa, and it was produced by Toru Miura and Hiroshi Tazaki. It was animated by AIC and Artmic. Artmic was unfortunately subsidized and liquidated, so it went bankrupt in 1997. However, AIC would go on to animate more shows like Bubblegum Crisis, shows like Gunsmith Cats, but also Go Donner, Gun X Sword, Salty Ray, Bamboo Blade, Gare Zero, Heaven's Lost Property, Strike Witches Season 2, Oremo, and other works like Dead Alive. However, you can see a theme with these, unfortunately.
Now, how many of those would you say you know?
all of them.
Really?
The list was more extensive with
Mm-hmm.
shows from early 90s, late 80s, some in the 2000s. A lot of the animation is very consistent up until the late 2000s,
Mm-hmm.
early ops, so like 2000s to 2010, the animation was very consistent from what you saw from 1990 all the way to 2010. However, once you start getting to things such as Gare Zero, Heaven's Lost Property, even some things like Bamboo Blade and Salty Ray, the animation starts getting a little more cleaner, a little more crisp. It doesn't have that 90s and 80s look anymore. Obviously, you can tell the animation team got better, but they kind of kept a consistency with their own style.
You think
Um,
it's more along the lines that they probably switched from hand
yes, it
drawn
definitely
to
felt.
the computer?
It felt
Like,
more digital. It felt more digitally
yeah,
digital. It
yeah.
kind of, not to say it's bad, but it definitely feels like you could crank it out faster with the way they were doing it.
Oh,
So
100%. But I feel like you lose a little something in the because obviously modern day anime, and we talked about this with Blue Submarine 6 too, where it's like modern day anime beautifully animated, like the
oh
fight
yeah,
scenes, the way they speed things up during the fights and everything, do not get me wrong, but when it comes to that hand drawn, like the cells, like you feel the love and like the effort more. Like it just feels like that they're the ones who drew all the fucking lines and all the coloring and shit like that, and so it just feels a little closer to them,
it,
which
it's
was
hard to
so
yeah.
great with this movie because like it's a very fluid animation. Like the dubbing's a whole different story, but the animation was fantastic throughout this whole 40-minute thing.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things where as budget gets tighter, as teams get smaller or bigger, depending on the studio you were talking
Mhm.
about, you got to cut back somewhere. And unfortunately, usually it's animation that takes the hit more than anything. It's
Mhm.
usually not the voice acting.
Yeah.
To look at Invincible, Invincible has an all-star cast of voice actors, but the animation looks worse this season. Season 3 looks terrible.
Oh,
Um,
I haven't gotten to the newest season yet.
I mean, you sacrifice great voice acting for
Yeah.
poor animation, but that's
Yeah.
the trade off.
Right.
Again, no hate to the game. I get it. You got to decide where your budget needs to go, and in this instance, it went to mostly the fighting for these, not the mundane. But so who'd we
Well,
have
if
for a
you had
cast?
to, before we go into the cast, if you had to equate that to this movie, how do you feel like the relaxing moments compared to like the action scenes? How do you feel? Like, do you feel like it's very equal throughout? Do you feel like
You
it's
can tell. It kind of goes back to what I just said. You can
mhm.
clearly see where their budget for animation went. It wasn't in their everyday mundane scenes. When they talked, you could even tell. Now, again, dubbing aside, the dubbing looked awful. The voice syncing was terrible. Nothing you can do about that.
But
It's early, not it's
but
early ops.
awful in such a good way. Like
Yes,
it's
it was.
awful, but you can thoroughly like sit there and laugh and just. It's kind of like Speed Racer. It's kind of like
You can
Action
laugh at
Boy.
it for
It's
sure,
like
for
you
sure.
sit there and you're like,
What can I do for you, Chief?
Percy, how about opening doors quietly?
You sent for me just to tell me that.
No, for work, dummy.
But you got to remember though, this is a pilot episode. They're trying to get budget for this anime. And if the dubbing looks terrible, maybe not the Japanese. I didn't get to watch the Japanese. I watched the dub because that's how I was exposed to it. So I'm going to keep watching it that way.
I want to
maybe,
find the manga now. I'm
Yeah.
really interested in it.
But maybe if the Japanese dubbing was really good, I'd be like, okay, well, it justifies it. But from what I'm seeing from the English side of things, English dub side of things, again, you can tell where the animation went. It went for the action scenes, the driving scenes, the chase scenes, the shots. But when you look at the everyday mundane moments, they look stiff, stale, and boring. Again, it's a choice. It's not like I expect this anime to have an exquisite budget like an Attack on Titan or Naruto or Bleach.
But regardless, I feel like this movie captured just perfectly what like the 80s was. Because I'm a big person where like I grew up, I mean like Blues Brothers, anything action, Schwarzenegger, Stallone, you know what I mean? Like, Bruce Willis,
I
anything
agree.
like that. And I feel like it just captured that, like, oh yeah, how do you fight an entire army and not get shot one time? You know what I mean? Like
No, I would not disagree with you. I would not.
Yep.
I would 100% agree with you on it. Really encompasses what the 80s and 90s was like.
Yeah.
The vibe. It really was the vibe. And again,
dude, I love this, and I'm so glad you chose this for me because it was for the listeners. I chose Blue Submarine 6.
Yep.
So I mean, I'm glad you watched it. I'm glad you enjoyed what you enjoyed about it. But I do, now that I've seen it again for the first time in like
you said
20
okay.
years, I'm like, yeah, this is depressing. I'm just depressing. I almost get the same feeling, I'm not gonna lie, while I'm watching Black Lagoon.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, to me, actually, this kind of reminds me of some moments in Black Lagoon, if I'm going to be 100%. So some of the chase scenes and action sequences, I'm like, this just feels like a Black Lagoon, but without the boat part, or, without the mafia chasing them.
Oh my God, bro. I would love to see a conversation between what's the chick's name?
Revy and Bean.
yeah, Revy, Bean, or even Revy and Rally, because Rally's kind of like that, like a little like what's the word I'm looking for? I keep wanting to say hot to trot, but it's like gun happy, like trigger happy kind of personality where like
I'll get to a moment
to shoot everybody.
I'll definitely point out a moment that confused me because of like we were talking about the voice acting and the delivery on things. There's a moment with Rally where I'll be like, but why? But why?
All right. So to get into the cast, I'll start off with the man of the hour, Bean Bandit.
45,000 exactly.
Wait a sec.
You got a problem?
You can't take that much. We'll barely get anything.
Not getting enough is your problem, not mine. I did my part. I'm taking what we agreed upon.
Hey, the next job.
No thanks. Only amateurs work for the shipping charges alone.
Voice actor in Japan. Well, I've been waiting for this to do in front of you. So is it Hideyuki Tanaka?
Yes, actually, that was perfect.
I was like, dude, I'm gonna practice this, and when he sees it, now watch like I do the English one, and I'm like,
Patrick Layler, Lei-uwu, I guess. I don't know. I nailed it.
Yeah, I nailed the Japanese one. But the English voice actor was J. Patrick Lawler. He is a legendary getaway driver, certified badass, and central protagonist to the story. Defined by immense physical strength, near unstoppable endurance, and elite driving skills.
That's my boy. That's my boy. That's the man.
This dude fucking, we'll talk about it. This dude tackles a car. This dude fucking runs up to a car like he's on the defensive.
He Terminators.
Like
he literally pulls
a fucking football game.
He is the Terminator. He becomes the Terminator, literally.
Crazy.
So the second character we'll introduce is his partner in crime, Irene Rowley Vincent, or Vincent, depending on what you want to call it.
Bean, you in there? Here I come. Wake up, Bean. It's 10:30 already. Bean!
So she is voiced in Japanese by Naoko Matsui, and her English VA is Brennan Mackenzie, or Mackenzie. She's the Bean Bandit's partner. It is never really explained why when she is actually a detective. So it is said she's a detective. She's skilled with her firearms. She's very aware, has good situational awareness. She's good at improvisation. And she has experience as Bean. It seems like they have such a good dynamic. When they get introduced together, their dynamic is sharp, very tip for tap. They are very good for each other. It seems like, almost built for one another. That's what it comes off as.
So I found when I was trying to do the research for this, there was a lot of conflicting characteristics because I guess there is quite a difference between the anime and the manga. Like I know for this, she's actually a bounty hunter.
Really? Okay. She comes off
and
more...
I think maybe in the manga, she's a police officer.
she seems like a private detective almost in this. Like the way she dresses like gives off private detective vibes.
Like there was so she's a bounty hunter and he's the getaway driver. But there were like a bunch of conflicting things. Like I remember I was looking up like Chelsea Grimwood, and we'll go into her in a second. But everything I kept reading kept calling her a pop star, and I was like, never once was she. What the fuck are you talking about? And the only conclusion I can come up with is that it must be the manga, because I haven't been able to read the manga yet, which I'm gonna.
He promises.
But next we have George Grimwood.
No, I still haven't had a shower today. I'm filthy.
Japanese voice actor is Jun Hazumi, and the English voice actor is J. David Arnold. He is the owner of Grimwood Financials. His daughter Carrie has been kidnapped and Bean was framed for it. It is revealed that he had also been kidnapped and held hostage too. He is strong, kind, and an honorable father who just wants his daughter back. And I do like how like they actually show that like he is an honorable man. Like when Carrie tries to like basically fucking go down on him and he's like, dude, ew, get away from me, like and like slaps her away, and then he immediately apologizes after. But like the whole time he's a prisoner, he's just like trying to talk to his captives and be like, you're better than this, dude, like come on, let's talk about it.
For those editor note, it's not Carrie. Carrie is another character. It's actually Chelsea. Chelsea's the daughter. Little editor's note. He said Carrie, but it's okay.
No. When the Carrie was the one who was trying to go down on him when his were cupped up, and then
when you mentioned who his daughter was, you said Carrie, and I was like,
oh, sorry. Yeah.
Editor's note. Cut that. Cut that. Get that out of here. Get that out of here. You gotta make it look smarter, guys.
Yeah.
Please.
Chelsea is the daughter. Carrie is the capture. Say that 5 times fast.
No, thank you. I'll pass. But speaking of Chelsea Grimwood is the daughter of George Grimwood.
That man, he will save my papa, won't he? He's going after the bad guys, so he's a good guy, right?
She's only an 11-year-old. Whoa. Is this the first time you're hearing it? I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to spoil that for you. Little twist.
What do you mean, Carrie?
The only Carrie I know is Carrie Underwood, man.
Yeah.
She's the 11-year-old daughter of George. She was kidnapped, and she actually got swap-a-root at one point with Carrie. You know, that's probably why you got confused for a second, because the little swap-a-roo they have.
They do, yep. She puts on a wig.
But she was voiced by Chieko Honda, and her English voice actor was Mary Bouchier.
Yeah, I think it is Bouchier. Because I used to know someone with the last name Boucher.
Mary
Buscemi. Just the
Buscemi.
same thing without the R.
Steve Buscemi. Voice acted by Steve. Voice acted by Steve Buscemi.
Yeah, Steve Buscemi. The narrator.
Steve Buscemi.
Next we have Semmerling.
I suggest you shut up. For the time being, you are a paying guest, so I don't want any violence.
Whose Japanese voice actor is Mami Koyama, Mami Koyama. And then the English voice actor is Barbara Lewis. She is the primary antagonist and the criminal mastermind. She orchestrates the kidnapping of Chelsea Grimwood and the framing of Bean Bandit. She's cold, manipulative, and psychologically driven rather than physically imposing. But she's a fucking psycho. Let me tell you that. She is a weirdo. And quite possibly a pedophile.
And people, let's remember, we here at the Flashback Cartoon are illiterate to some degree.
Mm-hmm. Oh, 100%.
We are not the most literate people you'll ever see.
No, dude, and even worse, Santi is dyslexic. I have multiple sclerosis. So when it comes to reading notes, we're like,
You get Tourette's, I get it.
Luckily, we edit and post.
Cut that. So Speaking of her partner in crime, though, Carrie Ballantine.
Anyway, hurry up and eat. We're leaving here right after Simmer gets back.
Just a moment.
The partner of Semmerling,
Mhm.
whatever. Her Japanese voice actor is Megumi Hayashibara, and her English voice actor is Susan McQueen. So she is... It's never specified how old she is, but she is, again, the accomplice of Semmerling. She's very
Mhm.
young, almost like a kid.
Yeah, it's implied that she's young. I mean, George like constantly is like, "How old are you?"
Yeah,
and, like
it
he's like,
tries to
"Little
pry
girls
into it."
shouldn't be doing this kind of stuff.
But her retort is very playful. She's like, well, it's not nice to ask a lady her age.
Exactly what is she to you?
She's my lover.
How old are you anyway?
It isn't polite to ask a lady her age.
And I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, but you're a kid. You know, in my head, I'm like, you're probably a kid, right?
And then she wants to fucking blow him. And then she's like, "Nah, I mean, Semmer says I'm great at it." And I was like, "Whoa."
Whoa. Whoa.
What the fuck?
Epstein?
Uh,
Epstein?
yeah. Oh, she's definitely on. Dude, I saw the earlier, not to get too sidetracked, but I saw name an anime character. This was on Facebook where it was like, post a anime character that you would think would be on the Epstein list.
Hisoka.
Yeah. Well, I said General Blue, but
Yeah.
this bitch would definitely be on, dude.
Hisoka from Hunter x Hunter, I feel like, is right there with the way he was touching Gon that one episode.
Oh, dude, you can almost put Joker from Fire Force.
Listen, I don't want to put my boy there, but Master Hoshi.
I saw Master Roshi a couple of times
At Epstein's Island,
Jiraiya's
bro. Bro.
I was trying to think of who the captain from Bleach is, the weird one.
Mayuri?
Yeah, with like the white face, basically.
Yeah, Mayuri.
The Bleach Orochimaru.
Yep, Mayuri. Yeah, that'd be pretty accurate as well. Well, yeah, probably, honestly.
Yeah, he's a little creep. He's definitely creep. He's gonna be touching people.
Can we say Orochimaru too then? At that point, let's just throw him on there.
Orochimaru is probably on top of the list. That's actually who I saw the most, and
He looks like
it just showed his tongue out.
It's like
everything.
It's like if Gene Simmons got isekai'd into an anime, he would be Orochimaru. Just without being musically talented.
Yeah.
The only thing he kept was his long tongue.
Yeah, dude. They're like if you took Marilyn Manson and just fucking. But getting back to the OVA, next we have Percy Bacharach.
I feel like it's Italian. I feel like it's Italian.
Percy Bacharach. Well, the Italians usually end in a vowel.
I don't know. He just looked Italian. That's why. I'm just assuming.
Yeah.
Yo, Percy, my man, how's life?
Road Buster?
Hey, nice car you got there. GT 500?
Yeah, I finally found just the right car to waste you in, Road Buster.
He's that typical, like, I'm the cop, and even though I'm the cop, I'm the antagonist, you're the bad guy, but you're the protagonist kind of thing. So, like, there's this rivalry where, like, he loves to hate Bean, and we'll go into that too, but his Japanese voice actor is Kei Tomiyama, and then his English voice actor is David Krause. He is a Chicago police inspector, loud, aggressive, and like I said, obsessed with capturing his nemesis, Bean. I mixed two of the things here.
I noticed. Cut this. Get this out of here.
But yeah, he's like obsessed with capturing Bean, so much to the point where he like buys this own like souped up nice, I forget what the specific type of car was.
Chevy. I think it was a Chevy.
I think a 1967, or it was
Chevy
either
something.
67 or 68.
It wasn't a Stingray. I know it wasn't a Stingray. It was a nice Chevy though. I think he said it was a nice Chevy.
Fun fact, in Gunsmith Cats, they actually replaced the car, which I don't like, but they replaced the car that I guess Bean has in Riding Bean. and gives him the car that the police chief has or the police inspector. So, like the blue car that he's driving the whole time that got the glass in the wheels, they like give him that car. And I'm like, damn, I don't know. The red just kind of like fucking fits his whole vibe,
So you put a fun fact here, which that's one of my favorite facts, because when I started at the PO, one of my good friends, Frankie, he was the one who introduced me to this, because I told him one of my favorite movies of all time was Baby Driver. Baby Driver is just such a feel good movie, really.
Yep.
And he got me watching Bean Bandit, Riding Bean. And I said, is there more of this? And he said, well, Guns with the Cats. And I was like, well, yeah. But I'm like, is there more of Riding Bean? He's like, well, there's a Kickstarter for it. And so 2019, there was a Kickstarter by Kenichi Sonata or Sonoda, because you put an A there, your accent, to help fund a remake for Riding Bean called Bean Bandit. So it initially surpassed its goal of $136K. However, though, unfortunately, funding wasn't there by 2021. So
yeah,
he was only able to remaster it, make it not even remaster, just HD, HD the old 45-minute. But that's honestly, I couldn't have asked for more.
I mean, they call it a remaster. So so with the $136K that he was able to get with the Kickstarter, he did create a 5-minute short of like and it looks nice. It's like Bean fighting like just a bunch of like henchmen. No,
it looked good.
Whatever,
it looked great,
but it looked really, really good. And he said, like, if you guys like that, let's not stop. Like, let's keep it going. And for a 20-minute episode, I need to raise $380,000. And he goes, and for a full 45-minute thing, I need $800,000. I'm just wondering why he wasn't able to get that money to begin with, if he's like this well-established anime maker.
I have a theory. It's because, not a lot of people even heard about Riding Bean to begin with. I think that was another big issue, is Riding Bean kind of felt like this niche thing already. And then on top of that, you had Gunsmith Cats come out and Bubblegum Crisis, that's what he's more known for. And technically, Bean is in it. We've established Bean is in that continuity. So he's there. So I think people just assume he's kind of already a background character, and without without watching where his initial start was, which was Riding Bean. That's where he started before he started to do Gunsmith Cats. And
it was like Riding Bean was where he got the ideas down, and then Gunsmith Cats was where he was able to like take what he got down and basically rework it.
Correct,
do a couple of character redesigns. But from what I could, and I can't confirm this is just rumors that I heard in different podcasts that I listened to, but I heard it from a few different sources, is that I guess the reason why the anime didn't get picked up is there was creative differences between him and the writer. And they like eventually broke up, and he took his characters because they had the rights to Riding Bean. So then he went and took it to Gunsmith Cats, and he's like, all right, well, if they have that, then I'm going to rework it. And then like, they're my characters, but I'm going to put him here that they're no longer partners. Now she has this other partner kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then there was something too that he might have been in some trouble with the Yakuza.
I didn't hear that rumor before.
Yeah.
If that's true, then I mean, him kind of like hiding himself more would make more sense, being a little on the DL. I mean, it's better than him ending up being the Rurouni Kenshin author and turning out to be a PO, a PDF,
That's the worst thing ever, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
that kind of ruins, it's like Kevin Spacey being a PDF as well, kind of ruins Baby
The
Driver.
one thing I will say is that the new Kenshin that's out now, it's like I can kind of disassociate the creator with it, because it's such a new style, such new
it looks
designs,
really
a little
good.
bit
It
sleeker,
does look really good.
And so like I guess I really can kind of separate them in that type of sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it always sucks. It's like, I'm not an R. Kelly fan, but I know there are people who are R. Kelly fans. And like, after what he did, how do you continue liking his art? And it's like, did
Well,
he how do you continue liking the art?
Yeah, I mean,
you could say Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson, yeah.
Allegedly. We don't know about him yet.
But unfortunately, that's the sad thing is too, though, you look at a lot of Japanese artists, it does happen pretty often that it comes out they've done something, again, whether or not it's like, being a PDF is one thing, I'd be like, well, that's pretty bad. But like, guy comes out for money laundering. I'd be like, well, you're a terrible person, but you made great work, so I can kind of forgive that.
Yeah.
But like PDF or, sex offender, I'd be like, okay, come on, guys. Like,
that's why. Did you see all the art when it came to it was like Kenshin's anniversary, and all the different mangaka drew basically Kenshin, and then I think it was the artist for JoJo purposely drew like a bad picture. Like everyone else would like put in effort, and he like drew just like the least minimum.
I mean, I get it. It difference of opinions. I totally understand if people still want to respect his work. I do. Like, I have friends who Reverted Kenshin is still their favorite anime today, the OG, and I will never tell someone they can't like that series because he's a PDF. Like I said, you got to learn how to disassociate the art from the artist. But it's tough. It's tough when the art when the crime is so deplorable. I'd rather have you be a murderer. I'd be like, okay, well, he's a murderer. Great. But like, dude ruins so many kids' futures by again, people will argue this argument of, well, he wasn't looking at the child P, but he was selling it. Well, what's the difference? He's still selling it, He's still associated in that ring of, child P at that point. I don't want to be that person who goes, well, there's a difference. No, there isn't. There isn't. If you are part of that ring, I'm going to be like, you probably have some interest in little kids, and I'm a little scared.
But it blows your mind that someone like that can pop off and have one of the most popular manga of all time, and I think someone like this who really puts in effort and work into what he does, and for some reason he could just never find something that really, like, even with all the animes we've named, a couple of them are kind of famous, but nothing has ever like fucking blown through, and like everybody's wearing shirts of theirs, hats, and like everyone can name every episode, every character kind of thing.
Listen,
don't get me wrong. I know there are people out there who absolutely love this OVA, absolutely love Gunsmith Cats, and can go into those characters and stuff like that. But I'm just saying, in general, most especially here in the West, I'm not gonna find most people, unless I go to like a con or something, that are probably gonna know this.
Listen,
which is what this episode is for.
Yeah, we're talking about another time frame.
What were funny to the 80s, in the 80s, what
Yeah, that's why I'm not too harsh about this, because again, I understand that artists' brains are wired very differently than like a normal. I wouldn't even say a normal, but like what an average functioning person would look like.
Yeah,
an average functioning person would be so different.
Nowadays that the nudity in this OVA is controversial.
Yeah,
but it's
but it's not. It's really not.
Yeah.
So again,
it's just a product of its time, really. But I don't think it takes anything away from this
or
movie.
People get shot, people get killed, and it's just like people would be like,
"Oh, dude,
death!"
The death scenes are so
over the top,
but they're so good. They're so good.
So good. So over the top.
Like, you see one cop just like early in the beginning just get his fucking
head below.
Let's go into it, honestly.
Yeah, let's get into it.
I'll let you start off with kind of going through the summary of the story of the OVA.
So this OVA is, again, 45 minutes, very short, very short. So they compact quite a bit of a story into it. So there's two stories that run adjacent to each other. One would be Bandit, one would be Bandit at the beginning of the beginning of the episode starts off with a robbery at a mall, which that's, we could talk about that.
It's like a bank.
It's a bank in a mall.
In the mall.
And
one thing that confused me, again, going back to the nudity, is like, that's the first scene we start off with, is there's the we see inside the bank, there's a guy knocked out on the ground, there's the robbers there, and then just some chick who's butt-ass naked.
Yeah.
It's just butt-ass naked. I'm like, how does that help them in the fucking robbing the bank right now. Where they were like, all right, get us into the fucking safe. Also, strip naked.
Strip naked. Naked.
That's going to help us escape quicker. Trust me.
Again, I think it's a choice, artistic choice, and that's fine. So again, it's very odd because you're in the mall. It's two robbers robbing a bank. You know, one of the cops is already knocked out. The other is at gunpoint. You know, they're holding a hostage nude, and they want the money. They want all the money. You say, give us all the money. Give us all the money. And the scene continues with them getting the money. They escape. They're running through the mall. Through the mall with a butt-ass naked woman in their hands, and one of the cops whips out a gun, starts shooting, scene flashes, shotgun shot goes off, graphic as hell, cop's brain just gets splattered. It's just everywhere. It's a good scene. Very
it's
good.
so good. And now, like you said, two stories gone kind of like 2 point of views at the same time, because like it keeps flashing to these robbers escaping through the mall, shooting at the cops, and then we see somebody chilling in his car, just like kind of readjusting his mirrors, playing some music. And this is our boy Bean. And we're thinking, like, is he about to like show up and save the day? And he does. He's in his fucking red Corvette, and he just fucking pulls up. And no, twist, he is with the villains. He picks up the robbers, and then they fucking ditch the naked chick, and they get away.
I can't believe this. Nothing but $10 bills. What the hell was on your mind? Hey, cops, Joe, do something. Can you hear me?
They after they shoot a few more bullets, you know, they got to get their point across. Bang, bang, bang. You know, really instill that fear. I thought they were going to shoot the woman. Honestly, honest to God, that moment.
I really did.
I was very convinced.
The other person, and then he pointed the gun at her when she backed up against the wall. I was like, oh, they're just going to kill her because they don't need her. And then they let her go. I was like, oh okay.
Cool. You know,
they have a heart.
Yeah, I mean, so, you know, kind of going back to it too, you know, that scene where it's flashing to Bean, you know, in the car, you know, you don't know who this guy is, you know, wearing his sunglasses, adjusting his mirrors, like you said, you know, but you get this little slight ambiance of the radio. It's the police radio going off in the background. You can hear the crying going on, saying, you know, we got robbers, we got an armed robbery, you know, going down this street, you know. It kind of sets the scene already, because you can even tell by like the expression Bean's giving in the anime that he's listening intently, getting ready. And then when he shifts his car, you're like, oh, we're going. Something's going to happen. Something big's going to happen. And that's just the first like 5 minutes. And you're like, whoa, this anime's moving fast. Like, and I like that, you know, kind of trying to bring it off.
The nudity, the explosions, the gunfights, the driving. And the driving in here is fucking incredible. Being, I will say, I think Speed Racer and Racer X, I think, still have a leg up on him as when it comes, because he could be in a Speed Racer. He souped this car up with everything. He has buttons. He has like two
bulletproof
steering wheels, a steering wheel inside of a steering wheel, bulletproof
glass. Yeah, he's got everything.
Things pop out of his tires, so like he can avoid falling off the cliff, kind of shit. Like he's got this thing packed, and he can do the like basically car foo that like Speed Racer does. But I will say, I still think Speed and Racer X got just because though that 60s anime is so out of pocket and fucking out there. I watched Speed Racer drive on a fucking tightrope.
Ha ha ha! You will not race as fast as me.
I also watched him drive on 2 wheels over a tree that had fallen over to like form a bridge.
But to be fair, though, if we get deeper into it, Bean does basically punch a car and stop it dead on.
Like, superhuman.
So I'm like, if this man were to throw hands with Speed Racer and Racer X, I'm pretty sure he's winning that.
I think he'll beat Speed, but I think Racer X probably would be a better fight for him. Because
probably,
Racer X is always like kind of like super spy, almost like inhuman in his own right, but Speed's basically just like, I drive cars and randomly I know Kung Fu.
Carfu. Yeah, I know
Yeah,
Carfu,
And
boys.
his dad's the best wrestler in the, like on the planet or something.
So
But yeah,
after
back to
everything that happened, that getaway was pretty intense, So it starts to slow down a little bit. Bean, they have a little bit of a chase scene. Again, very reminiscent of what Baby Driver is. If anybody's seen Baby Driver, it's a very reminiscent to the opening to Baby Driver. You kind of get to see the skill of Bean driving, and you're going, wow, this guy knows what he's doing. He's a getaway. He seems experienced. So they get away. Of course they get away. It wouldn't be an anime other than that. Cut. 10 minutes, done.
Yeah.
So they get away, and you don't know who these two bandits are at first. At first you're like, who are these guys? And Bean kind of calls them amateurs because they acted like amateurs. But there's a deeper plot to that. That's the subplot to a bigger plot. Those two bandits become bigger parts of the main story. But so they offer him another job. Bean says, "No, I don't work with amateurs. Why would I? You guys are literally on amateur hour. I don't like that. This is my last job with you."
He's like, I don't trust anyone that employs kids.
I did my part. I'm taking what we agreed upon.
Hey, the next job.
No thanks. Only amateurs work for the shipping charges alone. Besides, I don't work for dumb bastards who use kids as accomplices.
And I was like, ooh, good.
And you're like, ooh, good call. So he leaves, he says, I'm taking the 40K. I'm out. I'm done. And that's where again, two plots running at the same time. You find out these two bandits, the quote unquote, amateur bandits are actually Carrie and Simmerling. It's them. And you're like, wow, that's kind of cool because I don't want to be the person who says, wow, women can't be strong, strong, independent people. But Jesus Christ, like they make these women look so badass in this. As again, the dynamic is a little freaky because you realize how young the kid is. Carrie's really young. And you see that dynamic. That kind of puts you off and go, But it does show you that anime knows how to treat women the way they, not the way they should be, but it doesn't.
Sorry, I was going to say that, and the thing too is that like we see with Carrie, she doesn't really, she's kind of like got the baseball cap, kind of like we do, but it like kind of down low, so you can't really see her face, but you could quite literally tell she's a kid. What I was impressed with was Semmerling because like she was full dude disguise, and like you do not expect it where like last minute she just rips her face off and it's a chick, and then she does that, at least in the dub she's like ha 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 ha.
Yeah, she gives the ho ho the little monologue of ho you fools. It's like, okay, whoa. Again, it comes back to you see it's a good representation of like what a character, like you give them personality, you give them a strong personality, and it's like, and that carries them. Simmerling is that you can tell she's conniving and scheming, right then and there. Like you can tell she's slick, she's sly, she can think and be quick about what she's doing. And what was really interesting too is like she's the commitment you see her do. She spits out like almost like it's not a voice changer, but it's a little ring she keeps in her throat to help adjust her vocal cords. And I said, damn, they have such good details about like going into these little micro things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's such an attention to detail that you wouldn't expect from a 45-minute OVA episode. I said, wow. That's impressive. Like that he
really, dude. It really is. The whole story that they fit into this, like it feels, and not in a bad way, but it feels like an hour-long episode.
It does.
Like it feels like a full-blown like movie, and it's only a 40-minute thing. Like so condensed, but like you get through it. There's an ending to it. It's like it's just like it pays off for everything that happens.
Everything feels connected. Everything feels connected to some degree. Even at first, when it's like, look, he's no Oda. I'm not gonna say he's an Oda. But it feels like the way feels like it's the One Piece is real. It feels like the way he sets up his story at first seems so disjointed and disconnected, but then the more the story kind of continues and flows, you're like,
oh fuck, that
makes sense.
That, dude.
Yeah,
and then connect it all.
Yep, you have that moment.
So we get like. Basically, the title screen, it's the next day, and again, another naked chick. This time, we're seeing Rally, who is getting changed. She's putting on her fucking bra and underwear and suspenders and everything, and she's getting dressed, and then puts her clothes on. She opens up her door, and you see Bean is sleeping on the couch, and she's like, all right, wake up, time to go to work. What the fuck you doing? She fucking tases his ass to wake him up and nothing. It's not until she takes the hot fucking saucepan from the fucking oven and just puts it on Bean's face where he finally is like, what the fuck?
And let me tell you, that voice acting, peak.
It just goes to show you how like superhuman fucking Bean is, because he got fucking tased and didn't feel goddamn shit. It wasn't.
But that sets him up. That sets him up right there. As like someone who's like, he is a motherfucker you don't want to mess with. If he's getting tased and not waking up, that's a power move right there. You're going, oh, that just shows you how fucking strong he is already. Guy can take a taser. And yeah, that voice acting when he screams when he gets that's peak voice acting. The I'm like, okay.
I'll play a clip of it. And but so we hear a knock at the door. All of a sudden, like this dude is holding a child. And he's like, I need you to let me in. I know you guys are the whatever their code name is, like Midnight Rider or something like that. And he's like, really? And where the fuck did you hear that? And he's like, I got this girl. They're trying to hunt down the Miss the fuck's their last name?
Oh, Miss Grimwood.
Yeah, Grimwood. I put my notes down for a second. Or that he's like, they're trying to kill her, and I brought her to you guys because I knew you can get her out and get where you need to go. And they're skeptical, but apparently Bean has a soft spot for kids being mistreated. So he's like, all right, I guess I'll help you.
How'd you know about this office?
Grimwood Financial also has an intelligence agency, and you're already a very well-known figure there.
So
lo and behold.
But something interesting about that too is, speaking of things that will come back around. So before we even get to that scene, there's a scene where Nick mentioned that Carrie puts down her hat like that. There's a little moment where she puts on a brown wig, changes her outfit.
Mm-hmm.
She did that, keep that in mind. She did that for a reason, She puts on her jacket, puts on the wig, keeps her head down like that, and a security camera takes a picture of that. Keep that in mind. At first I said, why would you do that? Other than maybe to hide who you are. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. That makes sense. You want to disguise yourself. That'll come back later, actually. So, you fast forward and then bang, another explosive gunfight breaks out again. And this dude just gets turned to Swiss cheese, again, very gruesome.
Yeah, it's crazy. It was like the entire the building right next to them had an entire firing squad that just opened up on the entire floor of Bean, Rally, and this dude who just brought this young girl in with them. Yep. And he gets fucking lit up. You just see boom, 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 blood splurt all over him.
Rally, like, she takes a corner, it gets chewed up. She's like pulls back. She's like, okay. But then, calls out to Bean, like, Bean, are you okay? Bean's behind couch kicked over, holding up his jacket, has bullets in it.
Bullets
Guys riddled in him. But,
and he's literally going like this, and it worked, dude.
Is he dead?
Well, I would think so with his brains on the floor.
What about the girl?
Over there. I kicked the chair over before the glass blew out. She didn't get a scratch.
She's still asleep.
Yeah, they must have really drugged her up.
Bean, are you all right?
Oh, it's so nice to know you care.
It's assumed that it's some kind of John Wick type of shit where there's like Kevlar in his clothes, because nothing gets ripped, nothing. He's just no damage at all. And he just kind of like shakes off the bullets that all just fall straight to the ground. So
cool as a cucumber. Yeah, cool as a cucumber too.
The entire time, dude, this entire movie, he's so fucking cool. It's like, I'm just like, he never freaks out. I'm like, hell yeah, dude.
He follows the rule
freaks
cool.
out. He freaks out if you fuck with his car. But
Yeah,
so they grab the girl, they leave. The dude that brought her in stands up and he like hits another button and more things pop off. And he's like, oh, fuck. And you're like, oh, shit, he fucking faked it.
Yep.
And then we go into the next scene.
Mm-hmm.
And now the police have been called. So now Percy's being brought into this. He has his like rookie kind of cop with him, and he's like, oh, that's it. Now we have an excuse to go after Bean.
Roadster.
Let's fuck him up.
So he gets his nickname. Percy calls Bean all the time like Roadster, and all I can think about is Road Warrior.
Yeah.
I'm like Mad Max, Road Warrior. And I'm like, oh yeah, Bean is the Road Warrior when you think about Roadhouse, Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah.
So Percy shows off his new car that will take down the Roadster. You know, it's a Chevy, really nice Chevy. I think, was it a V8 engine he had in it, or a V12 or something? He was like,
something fancy.
He's like turboed up, yada yada yada. You know, he really like comes off as arrogant. Percy comes off as super arrogant the whole time. You know, he's like, oh, I could take down.
Yeah, very loud, brash. He's like, I'm gonna fuck him up. So basically, they chase Bean and Rally and Grimwood they go to the Grimwood Manor, and like Bean's like trying to drop her off, and everyone there's like, what do you mean?
We have this picture of you.
Yeah, like her dad just went to go pay her ransom. What are you talking about? And then they start shitting on Bean's car. And I love this dude because his car has the ability not just to go forward, but he can
all four wheels.
All four wheels completely 90 degrees and just go sideways. And this dude spits a cigarette at his car. Now, mind you, he's just security. And Bean fucks him up. Like, there's no way this dude's not dead. He turns this wheel sideways and just runs the car, hits him, and then turns the wheel, and he flies up the tree.
He basically pins the man to the tree like a bully pins a little weakling
and
bull
then
walker.
Turns the wheel, so he flings him after that. I'm
yeah.
like, what the?
No, but listen.
Enough! We can talk later. Get out of that junk heap right now.
What the hell? What did you just say?
I told you to get out of that piece of shit and quick. Move it! What are you putting your seatbelt on for? Get out, punk. Move it, I said. Don't get trapped with me. Bulletproof. Damn piece of shit.
You're like, what is happening? You're like, okay, well, I guess realism, realism just went out. Carfu! It's like, it went out the window so quickly right then. You're like, well,
to be there. And that's what the best part is. Like, you can just accept that the realism isn't here. It's not meant to be real.
No, it's supposed to be fun.
Be over the top.
Fun and over the top. Yeah, exactly. Fun and over the top. It's not supposed to be a serious thing. So right after that, they realize, like, hey, we've been had. Because again, that picture comes back. The picture of, quote, Carrie, who looks like Miss Grimwood. So it was supposed to be a ploy, Going back to it too, you realize that it all starts to make sense, that maybe they've been duped. And so that thought lingers with them a little more as they're trying to get away. And they ironically go to what you'd call like I'm trying to think like a Sonic. It's like a Sonic, you have your waitresses, waitresses
like on the
roller skates coming out to take your order. And I was like, man, this is so 80s, and I love it.
Yeah.
I'm like, God, I wish we still had these. Like, that's so cool,
dude. Because I had one like town over from the town that I grew up in. I think there was either one in Wilmington or Tewksbury. I forget, but I used to go to that one all the time, and I was just like, dude, this is bringing me back to like middle school.
The only thing they were missing is it was taking Miss Grimwood to a drive-in movie for like a few seconds or something, drive-in movie. I've been like, dang, it would have been funny if they took him to a drive-in movie showing like premiere of like Gunsmith Cat as like an homage or something of his work coming up. Like that would have been the funniest thing ever.
It would have been funny if like you found out that Bean's favorite anime to watch was Speed Racer.
Speed Racer, that would have been funny too. Yeah.
Imagine just like every time he's watching TV, it's just Speed.
I think it's pretty funny. I mean, so that scene kind of seems like, again, you want to talk about slow. This is where things get a little slow on purpose. It's supposed to build up the tension. So they add that. I'm just going to call it a Sonic now. It's there at the Sonic.
Yeah, Sonic. And
you really get to see more Bean's personality. It's like Nick said. He cares about kids. He really tries to like be considerate to them. Miss Grimwood at first is like, obviously she's a kid. She's 11. She's terrified.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like they're ordering their food. Bean wants 30 racks of ribs. Of course he does. Rowley doesn't really have what she wants yet. But then the waitress comes over and, Miss Grimwood goes, "Can I get an ice cream sundae?" And you're like, oh, wow, she has, she's a kid, It's a very cute moment. You're like, oh, that's cute. Because Bean's like, that finally got her to speak up. Thank you. Like, thank God. It's like, finally got you to speak, It's like, get the kid a sundae, please. It's like, because you can tell he's like, he cares. Like, he's worried. And, throughout the whole thing, like, the way his attitude is so... It almost feels like a dad. Like he is concerned. Like he's like, man, like I'm worried for this kid because I don't want this kid to get involved in what I'm doing. She's being hunted clearly, and she could get hurt. You can tell it's she could get hurt. I'm worried, and that kind of lightens the mood. That little scene really lightens the mood quite a bit, actually. However, before that, during the car chase, we forgot to mention there's actually a truck. Bean has to diverge because there's a 18-wheeler, a tractor trailer in the middle of the road. Quotation, why is that important? Well, that comes back later again. You're like, oh,
kind of at the same time because that Semmer
is still
in the 18-wheeler.
18-wheeler.
In the truck. Yeah, she's in the truck.
And you're going, that seems a little odd again. That comes back because little do you know, cuts back to Semmer with her getaway driver and Kerry. And they're in the 18-wheeler driving again. They're driving away. It's all beaten up now and you're going, that seems a little odd. Why were they in there? You come to learn they're the ones who set up the whole, fake photo, fake kidnapping, well, real kidnapping, but they did the fake kidnapping of Miss Grimwood, wanted Miss Grimwood. It was actually, they were mainly going after the dad for a ransom, and he was the actual ransom. So they were going to make off with the one, was it over $1 million? It was over $1 million, I think. Over $1 million. $2 million.
They wanted $2 million.
$2 million for him, yeah. Something in the millions. They wanted a couple of million for him. And the idea was that, they would try and get Bean the one who takes the heat. So all of the things they were doing, they were basically setting up Bean the whole time. Like I said, a story running parallel to each other. You have simmering story with Bean's story. You're seeing two sides of the same story, but in two different angles. And you're going, wow, he actually thought this through. You get to see both perspectives. So as they're at the Sonic, that 18-wheeler goes by, and they have a moment where they're like, isn't that the 18-wheeler that was tipped over? And they're like, oh, we've been duped. And that's the moment where both, now the stories are finally connected. And they go, we've been duped. We need to get on this. And now Bean is pissed. He's actually like, no one gets the better of me twice. It's like, you can get me once, but you can't get me twice. Like, I ain't gonna let this slide. So you get another chase scene. And wow, this chase scene, again, very explosive, very fast-paced. Talking to Speed Racer, Bean is just doing his best to pull the best Speed Racer baby driver, he can. He really is just... This is such a good moment of like, wow. People would think 80s anime, 90s animes have bad animation. You'd be wrong. This looks beautifully animated. Like, again, they use speed lines really well. They do really, like, sure, there are moments where you're like, yeah, clearly it's not supposed to look great, but when it comes to
doing like the Akira slide,
all the motions, all like it's like Sakuga for cars. Sakuga is basically just action. It means action scenes.
And
it's
we should mention too is right before this scene with the truck is where we add, like, as we're seeing them and getting the ice cream and stuff, we're now seeing George Chelsea's dad, who is a captive now, and you learn about how Carrie, who's young, tries to like he needs to take a piss, and she's like, "Oh, I'll fucking do that for you." And then he's like, "No, dude, I haven't showered. Don't touch me. Get out of here." And she's like, "No, nonsense. I'll clean it for you." Being all like fucking like weirdly flirtatious and stuff, and you learn that she's in a relationship with Semmer. And like this girl's quite clearly young, and Semmer is like a full grown ass adult, and like she shows up and just beats the ever living fuck out of Carrie right in front of George, slapping her. She's like, "You're being too nice to the fucking prisoner." She's like, "I'm so sorry," but she calls her mistress. It's a very weird like dominatrix relationship between these two. It's fucking weird, and I think it's meant to be, because like I think it's meant to weird you out, and it does that, you know.
What?
I wonder if you're not being overly hospitable to our hostage.
Uh-oh. You saw that?
Oh! Don't you try to put one over on me. Oh! You little slut!
Stop it!
I'm sorry, mistress.
I wonder if I've missed teaching you all the essentials.
I'm sorry, I won't do any more. I promise. So please.
If you do anything like this again...
Please stop it!
I'll obey your every word, mistress. Please forgive me.
They're not good people. They gotta go down.
It kind of makes you want to root for Bean more, because when you see that, you go, "Yeah, she's
a
clearly
fucking pedo. She's a horrible human being. She's not good.
She's clearly
might not be good, but
she's worse.
Definitely worse. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's one of those moments too where you go, "Wow!" It's because George,
and mind you, 49-minute movie. So
yeah,
like
49 minutes.
All this condensed, but like not in a bad way. That's why I really do want to learn the sub, because I want to see like how serious, or like, you know, without the goofiness of the dubbing. Behind the talking and what's going on.
Yeah.
But still great. I loved this movie's fucking fantastic.
That whole moment too, though, it's like you really. Again, George makes a point that it's like, I'm pretty sure he even says, like, you're like the same age as my daughter. So it's like 11, young, very young. And you're going, wow, like, what could have happened to Carrie? It does drive intrigue because, again, you get that moment. She gets flirtatious. You know, she does all these things that it seem odd for, quote, a young girl like that. And it drives intrigue, though. As weird as it is, it drives intrigue. Because you go, well, what drove Carrie to become like this?
Yes.
You know, it's like, wow. It's like, what drove you to be like
and
this?
And if the series was created, we would have been able to, like, figure that shit out. Because, and you're right, dude. Like, the curiosity is there. You're like, how the fuck did you get entwined in this, dude? Like, this is such a bad situation for you, and you just fucking take it.
Yeah.
She's like, "I'm sorry, mistress. I'll
but
never
I mean,
do it
yeah,
again, mistress. I
yeah.
love you." And then she fucking just, Semmer just grabs her face and like kisses her, and then like that's it. She's like, "All right, let's go." And right after getting the shit kicked after her, Carrie's just like, "Okay," like immediately stops crying and like turns all like happy go lucky again. And
you
like,
should
following her.
You should insert the clip of her going, "Okay," after literally when they take off their masks from the first time.
Absolutely.
She just goes, "Okay."
Yep. Future Nick, you know what to do.
Come on, we're leaving. Get your stuff together.
You rotten bitch.
The voice acting, man. The voice just again, hit and miss, but it's still charming. It's charming.
Yeah, literally.
It's charming. Okay. It's so charming, and I'm like, okay.
You're like, dude, this is so bad. Like, you just feel bad for it.
You do. No, again, it's like we laugh at it, but it's like you go. Yeah. Damn, it's like I wouldn't want my kid like that. It's like you wouldn't want your kid like in a situation like that. Like, you don't want to see a young girl in her future get ruined like that because
and you're like,
of someone
it's silly,
else's
it's
decision.
weird and goofy to put that in the movie, but it does the job.
It works.
That like
it works
in the movie for like it does the job
exactly.
Yeah.
So what happens though after Bean starts to chase Semmer and Carrie down now? Like what happens now? Like
at this point, I believe we make it to the garage, and this is kind of like the final confrontation, if you will. Because Chelsea and Carrie had switched at this point, and Carrie was in the disguise and in the car because when Bean parks the car inside the parking garage, he gets out to go like confront her one-on-one, and Rally's in the car talking to who we think is Chelsea Grimwood. And then the other like random bodyguard, the dude that's there, like shows up and he's like starts pointing a gun and like grabs Chelsea and points the gun to her, and randomly Rally's just like, yeah, well, you're really the partner in disguise, aren't you? And you're like, oh fuck, dude, she knew. You're like, oh shit, she knew. So like Rally's impressive.
Smart.
She
She's
was
smart.
on her shit.
Freeze! Don't get any smart ideas. I've got a python pointed at the brat's head with the hammer cocked. Throw your gun over to me so it won't be a problem.
I can't just simply go along with what you tell me to do. That's your partner in disguise, isn't it?
Throw me a gun or I'll blow her brains out, whether you believe it or not. I'm desperate enough at this point.
At this point, we just really get to see how like superhuman Bean is throughout this whole endeavor inside the parking garage, because she gets shot up again with like all the bullets that hit the jacket and he's just able to fucking shake it off. But at one point he fucking, like we had mentioned, he like tackles a car and just like he sees the car coming, and then he goes and like basically puts his shoulder into it and just like flips it up and over. He's chasing Semmer from like car to car.
You live up to your reputation, Bean Bandit. I'm amazed that you found me. I didn't think you'd drive me to this.
A woman.
Last night's preparations were really something, wouldn't you say?
What are you talking about? You used the same trailer for your getaway that you used to block the street. You're nothing but a bunch of amateurs.
It was coincidence that you found us. I've already hidden the money in another car. Even if you kill me, the cops will find it before you do. Well, want to make a deal? With your car and my hostage, I could make it to Mexico. You'll get a $500,000 shipping fee. If you want to escape, I'll help you all I can. What do you say?
I'm hoping for the $2 million, the hostage, and your lives. The whole ball of wax.
At one point, she locks herself in a car, and this was so fucking greatly animated. You just see, she thinks she's safe inside there, and you just see full on his fingers just fucking poke through the door, and then he just rips the entire fucking door right off and just hucks it. And you're like, what?
and really, to add on to that, what makes that scene even better too is like once Bean does that, both of them just start laughing.
Yeah.
Both just start laughing because it's like you can kind of tell how absurd it is, because again, Simmer at this point has thrown everything at him, the whole kitchen sink, really, and he just hasn't stopped. He has stopped.
And then the whole time that this big major final fight between everyone is going down, the Percy and the police have been following them and now has the entire place surrounded. But they don't know that. They're just all fighting in the parking garage. And so at one point, Semmer starts losing her shit. And, she's realizing real quick that she is not going to win this fight with Bean in a one-on-one. And so she takes Carrie, who, mind you, has been her little, like, fucking bosom buddy the entire time. And so she took her own teammate and starts putting a gun to her. And then Bean's obviously getting pissed because, again, you don't fuck with kids. You don't fuck with his car, and you don't fuck with kids in front of him. So he's fucking furious.
No! Stop it! Please stop! We'll give you the whole $2 million!
Stay out of this! You little brat!
Oh!
Freeze! Right, you stay just like that. Drop the knife.
Thinking of making a friend into a hostage?
I just did. What matters to you is not whether it's friend or foe, but whether or not it's a kid. Bean Bandit, I checked you out very carefully. You're a true monster.
You should have changed your plans when you figured that out.
And I forget, there's something was leaking. Was it what? I don't know how gas got involved.
It was so remember, it was the car she was in initially. When Bean hit it, it basically got destroyed. It popped the gas tank, and the gas started to leak. And so the car she was already in, was leaking.
Yep, got it. So she at one point went to, like, Carrie got out from her grasp, but was in the way of shooting Bean. And so Semmer shoots Carrie through the arm to hit Bean square in the head, right? Doesn't she shoot him? Is that the same scene?
No,
it
was a little before. So what actually happened about this whole thing was, it's like you said, Carrie gets involved, but it's because Carrie becomes more rational in this situation than Semmer does, because like you said, Semmer's kind of losing her cool,
like
kinda
losing it. Yeah,
you can see the mask coming
on
off.
everybody.
Yeah, the mask starts to come off more and more for her, but Carrie starts to use reasoning, saying, "Look," because it's like we established. For some reason, Carrie really loves Semmer. For some reason, it's probably what is it? Stockholm syndrome. It's like almost like a Stockholm syndrome. It feels like.
I remember what it was. It was Semmer was trying to bargain with
Carrie. Carrie was trying to bargain with Bean.
No, Semmer was
At
like,
first.
I'll give you what you want. Like, well, let's split it. Well, I'll split the money with you. And then Carrie's like, what? No, that's for us. Like, you don't need to do that. And then
Opposite.
Like, shut the fuck up, bitch.
Reverse that. It was Carrie. It was Carrie who was trying. Remember, the facade for Semmer's coming off, so she's losing her cool. Remember, at first she tried to say, I'll split it 50-50. Bean wasn't having it. But then Carrie comes in, because remember, Semmer's the one who knows where. Semmer and Carrie both know where it is. So Semmer's trying to play the trump card of like, if you kill me, you won't get it. But then Carrie comes in and says, listen, I know where it is. Like, please don't kill Semmer. I love her. Yada, yada,
Yeah,
yada.
nope, you're right.
And
you're
Semmer's getting mad because she's like, what are you
Gets
doing?
mad.
What are you
Starts
doing?
hitting Carrie again.
And saying, hey, what are you
in her,
doing?
Like, dominatrix way.
Yep.
Starts, slapping
And
her, hitting her.
And that's when Bean kind of backs off for a second and goes, okay, calm down. Like, you don't hit a kid. And again, the whole time, Carrie is trying to be rational, try and save Semmer. Semmer doesn't care. Like, you can kind of start seeing, again, that Stockholm syndrome mentality is kicking in for Carrie. But then you're seeing Semmer's personality of she is a shitty person. Like, you can tell she's desperate. She only cares about herself. Even though, again, you see the relationship, but it's that prisoner relationship. She only cares as long as she can use her. She can't use her anymore, so she's going to throw her away. Carrie doesn't get that. Again, Carrie is too young. She's been trained. Her brain's been rewired. So at that moment, again, Carrie's trying to be reasonable at this point, actually. Again, the whole time she's trying to be reasonable, saying, look, I can tell you where it is. It's in this car right here. Semmer's not having that. And that leaking car has oil underneath her. She pulls the trigger. You get this little slow motion scene of her yelling, Carrie, she pulls the trigger. Bean grabs Carrie out of the way of that, and the car explodes with Semmer.
Yep.
Blows Semmer
herself up.
Tragic. It's very, very, very metaphorical. She was her own
tragic, but karma.
Tragic karma. Yep. Because again, she did it to herself. She
had it coming. Yep.
She threw everything away. She only cared about herself. So that self-centeredness came back to kill her.
Yep. She was literally her own downfall.
Yep.
And
but as you said, the police have surrounded her. So surrounded them.
George and Chelsea Grimwood have been reunited at this point. Carrie's bawling her eyes out because she's like, I just lost the woman I love, and I don't have a family anymore. I don't know where to go, what to do. And, Bean, having the soft spot that he is, hey, he's just like, all right, hop in. And, they gather up a rally, and he's getting so excited because he knows the cops are out there and he loves to fuck with them. So, like, he just goes up to the opening and then flash a white and boom, That's the end of the OVA.
And you
all
even get
tied up in a nice
neat little bow.
wrap.
I bet she's exhausted.
Honestly, since when did the back of this car become a crib?
Do you suppose it'd be hard for us to stay in this town? You want to move?
Don't be silly. Good-hearted rich guys, out-and-out slime balls.
Roadbuster! Come out here and play!
And these crazy cops. We can still have fun in this town.
And you get a nice little, and you know, to just end on a fun note too. You know, it's like we said, everything up to this point has kind of been heavy, a little more serious. You're kind of seeing the flaws in each character, but to end it all, you see Percy get on a megaphone. He's like, "Bean Bandit!" You know, they're all yelling, chanting,
all
"Bean
the
Bandit!"
cops are come out and play.
Yay! You know, you get a
shout out
little
to the Warriors. I fucking love that movie.
You get a little bit of a fun moment there, and you're going, that's a good way to end it. A little jokey, you know, again, because some of the topics here are pretty serious. You know, you get a lot of, you know, child abuse, pedophilia. You get a lot of that. And again, it's heavy topics, but, you know, he ends it on a fun little note. Because again, at the end of the day, it is a fun romp. It's not it's not something you should be taking too seriously. Again,
a lot of, from what I heard, from when the different like YouTube shows or podcasts that I listened to, they really were griping on the unnecessary nudity in this. And I'm like, yeah, but it's not enough where it like ruins the movie. You know what I mean? Really, you get 2 naked chicks, I believe, throughout the
Rowley.
entire...
It was Rowley in that one. Again, the receptionist to
in the
bank,
beginning.
maybe.
So it's not like ridiculous. Yes, there's naked chicks, but there's Gundam has naked chicks. The original Gundam. You know what I mean?
I think
I
think where this argument stems from is the same argument that people in today make about ecchi. You know, like big boobs, big ass. You know, that's all you see, like fan service. I think that's where the argument comes from, or always where the argument stems from. Yeah, and I think within people's opinions, that's fair, but in this sense, it's like you said, you get nudity twice at most. Again, the beginning of the whole OVA with the receptionist being naked, and then Rowley being naked. That was it. Yeah, there's no other nudity.
You're making it for the 17-year-olds who, you know what I mean? You're making it for the dudes that are like, cars, boobs, explosions. But they're gonna love it, and that's why I think it hit. But it hit with more than what I think he was expecting, because there is such a love of this and Gunsmith Cats, where he was even able to take it and rework it, and that has some of its own issues, but it's still like, I think he was able to get a broader genre than just like the not adolescent, the teenage to young adult males that they're usually going for.
Yeah, and again, don't take this anime too seriously. It's 45 minutes. It's like, this I equate this like a Baby Driver. It's something you don't take seriously. It does have a good ending at the end. It's not like it's not the end of the world. This anime is very simple. There's no high, it's not high staked, you know, it's not like Superman trying to save the world from Doomsday or something, you know, from Darkseid, you know.
Multiversal.
Grounded
street, which is refreshing from like such a like everything we're getting with the MCU and just like Invincible, and anything is always world ending. It's always multiverse. It's always like that kind of shit.
This brings us back to like a grounded.
This is just people with their cars dealing with like, yes, it's exaggerated shit, but it's still like,
it's more grounded than what we're getting today. This is like, even like Black Lagoon, as goofy as like a Black Lagoon is, you know, it's still more grounded. The stakes, like, yes, sure, there are stakes, but the stakes are so grounded that it feels real. You can't get that.
I would love to see a Bean versus
Revy. Would be really interesting.
Would be such a great fight.
The Terminators from 2 different eras of, you know,
seriously,
it's so cool. It would be so cool. But no, I mean, like, again, the only flaws to this would be, sure, you could say it's too short, 45 minutes, but again, it's quote an episode. It's not an actual film, people. It's not a real film. It's an OVA, you know.
And I guess it gets dragged out a lot in the manga. So check out the manga. But on a lighter scale from F to A+, what would you put this?
So I think I'd give this, I've got 2 scores. The personal score, which is, I think this is an A. Because again, reminds me of Baby Driver before Baby Driver was a thing. This reminds me of Baby Driver. It reminds me of a Black Lagoon where the stakes aren't high, but the intensity in the action is up there. The storytelling, how it all connects somehow, fantastic. Again, Black Lagoon is one of my favorite animes because of how it keeps itself grounded to a certain reality within its own world.
Right.
This kind of does the same thing within 45 minutes. It establishes the world, establishes your characters, establishes what's at stake, and it wraps it all up neatly and then gives you a little more at the end. It makes it seem like there's more, a continuation. Love that. A. But I was going to grade this personally, more objectively, there's a lot of flaws. If we're basing this on the English dub was not the greatest.
No.
The still animations looked pretty bad, crudely drawn. Whatever, again, that's that you could knock some points on that. Sure, maybe the people would complain the story's a little too fast. I would agree. Story felt a little fast. Some of the voice acting felt a little fast. Delivery felt a little flat sometimes, or over dramatic or under dramatic. You could point out many flaws. So on a more objective scale, I'd probably give it maybe like a C-. Really, like it's a bad anime. Like I would agree if someone said this is not a good anime.
I don't even think so. I like what you're doing, where like you're kind of splitting it into a personal and an objective. My personal is, I'm gonna give for it personal A-. Just fun romp. I enjoyed everything. Couple weird parts, not gonna lie, but still not enough to ruin it. I thought it was a romp. I was laughing. I had a good time. And again, coming off of Blue Submarine number 6 and just like how dark and depressing and world threatening that was. And then even other animes I'm watching with One Piece and stuff, everything with the stakes are just always so fucking high. And yes, their life is on the line, so I guess that is a high stake in the moment of what's happening, but to still be grounded, that was fun for me. And there was it made it fun. Like the movie itself was like, no, like even at the end, the blue sky, they're driving out, like he's having a good time. Like, all right, let's go fuck with the police. Like he's like, it's a good time and it leaves on a good note. So A- in that aspect. If I have to do it in an objective type of way, I understand some of the gripes that people have. The stills, I don't even think they were that crude. I get what you're saying, but I don't think it's enough where I won't bring it down to the C's. I'm probably going to give it a B+.
Yeah,
in
fair.
an objective type of way.
Absolutely. I mean, I honestly, I could be convinced to give it a B-, really, but I think the problem is it's like you look at what's out around the same time as Riding Bean. I'm like, there's just better animes to watch in late 80s, early 90s. Like you could again,
Fist of the North Star.
Fist of the North Star.
It's been on my fucking list for forever. So I cannot wait to finally give that. And Vampire Hunter D is another one that I've heard so much about.
Yeah, I mean,
for
again,
80s era, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 80s era. Again, like I said, even like you go even way, 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 way further back, Astro Boy looks great. Astro Boy looks phenomenal. And that anime is ancient at this point. And again, nothing wrong with that.
Beautiful.
Looks beautiful.
But with that, Riding Bean, fantastic. You guys now have the capability to watch it.
It's free.
It for like $1. Well, it is free. I rented it for like $1 on YouTube. Twice.
Oh, you got scammed. You got scammed then. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's $1, so it didn't really matter.
No, you can watch it free on YouTube. You got scammed. You literally did.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
You got scammed. You actually got
the version with I forgot about.
You actually got scammed.
I literally forgot about that version that we originally sent each other.
You literally got scammed.
I want my $2 back.
I know that'll pay for gas.
But anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in to the Flashback Cartoon Hour. We're a podcast. We're on all podcast platforms everywhere. We're on YouTube. We have clips on Instagrams. We're on Facebook. We're on TikTok. So check us out, the Flashback Cartoon Hour, on all those. Matt, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Introducing me to this OVA. I can't wait to pick another one. And guys, remember the 3 golden rules: fight pollution, save the planet, or else Captain Planet will fuck you. And as always, be good to yourselves.